Hey guys, welcome to the tall and the short of it. Let's see if Jenny is going to join me. She's not on here yet. How is everyone this evening? All right, 6 o'clock was our go live time, and I'm hoping that, all right, let's see if this is her. I'm hoping that it works, because I cannot find my AirPods, so I hope the sound is okay. Oh, hey, Cody. So, like I said, hoping and waiting on Jenny, and at the same time getting on our notes page. How's everybody's week going? All right. Like I said, sorry, I'm waiting on her so we can chat together. There she is. All right, Jenny. I'm trying. There we go. Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. I cannot find my AirPods.
I don't have. I can get my headphones if you think we need them, but I think we're okay.
We'll have to see. Like I had them Tuesday. Patty, I sound sharp. I don't sound good.
Okay, let me grab mine.
Patty, how do I sound to you? Again, a year in, and we are so professional.
All right, let me get these plugged.
And I gave you mine, so I don't have them. Like those, I don't have them anymore. I gave you mine.
I about put them in the wrong ear. How's that?
Okay, I think I don't hear an echo from me now. So, if you're out there watching, give me a thumbs up, something. How do we sound? Or a thumbs down.
Do we sound okay?
Patty says I sound like I have a bag cold. Okay. Do I sound better now that Jenny has her earbuds in? I don't have a bag cold, but I mean,
allergies are a killer right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a little, I just spent the last 15 minutes searching frantically for my AirPods.
Oh.
Because I know I used them on Tuesday. Okay, yeah. Patty says it's better. Okay.
Okay, great.
Good.
I look really tiny over here.
Well, I'm like super close, but I'm not going to move it now, so.
Mm-hmm. Here, I'll just lower the front part of my tray.
I have my comfy pants on now, so.
Oh.
So.
All right. Well, first and foremost, thank you to those of you who submitted answers to the quiz from last week. And is she on here?
Yeah.
She is. Patty Willie, you won the Target gift card. Woo-woo!
Yay, Patty.
So we'll get that to you, girl. Private message me your address, okay? All right. Or if I have some LuLaRoe to pick up from Tammy, I'll bring it.
Talking about.
I don't know. All right. So, yeah, send me your address. Okay. So, what have you said before I got in here? I don't know.
Well, I explained about the feedback, like about that I didn't have my AirPods.
Oh, okay.
And
is that glare from my overhead light too much up here? Or it look okay? Okay.
I mean,
I can see the reflection.
You just look like you have a halo.
I do. You can tell which one of us is the angel.
Patty says yay in all.
Yay!
Oh, Patty
Oh,
says, "Oh, just come visit us." I almost did on Tuesday. We had
well,
an e-learning day, and I almost said, I actually almost went over there. I talked about it, but I had too much work to get done. My boss was really mean, and just he's such a slave driver.
well, your boss had to sit in 8 hours of professional development that day, so bleh.
Hey, Jake.
Hey. All right, so November. We got this idea from a good friend of ours who is an occupational therapist to do a month on related services. So, for those of you that don't know what related services are, it's just like if a student has an IEP already, they have their individual education plan because they qualify for special ed services. We have some services that we provide that are special education services, which would be things with a special ed teacher, licensed special ed teacher, or things that have to do with speech and language. So those are regular special ed services. But then we have related services that are much shorter in duration. You don't need them as much. And oh no, what did someone say?
Patty.
What?
Patty says my boss needs to suck it up.
I
You
know.
can say that now that you're
That's
not
right.
her
That's
boss.
right. Exactly. I still love you. So these related services are usually supplemental. I guess that's the best word to say, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Supplemental services that support the special education services they're receiving.
Yeah.
So those are things like OT, PT, speech, well, not speech. It would be OT, PT, nursing, and transportation and things like that. So those are the big ones we're going to talk about because they're the most common related services.
Think of another one. So
Yeah. I think they consider like behavioral therapy sometimes as a related service, and then also like counseling services would be a related service as well. But those aren't as typical. A lot of times kids get those outside of school.
yeah.
But some districts do offer those services as a related service. So, we decided to start with transportation.
Because it's the most exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's the most exciting to talk about. But there's a lot that of considerations that go into whether or not a student needs specialized transportation.
Yeah.
So that's why we decided to go with this one first. And it's the one that I, as a special ed director, get the most complaints about. So, oh, the bus. Kids don't like riding the bus. Did you like riding the bus?
No.
Or did you ever ride the bus?
Yeah, I did home. I didn't ride the bus. I didn't ride the bus to school ever.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So
also lived out in the middle of nowhere, so I was on the bus forever.
So me too. I was the first one on, last one off my road. Okay. So check this out. I have a theory. I think young people don't care if they get their driver's license on time anymore because parents don't make them ride the bus. Because guess who was like, Dad, let's go get my license. Let's go. Because I was told I had to ride the bus until I could drive.
I didn't have a choice. My parents were like, "Oh, today's the day you're going. You're getting your license now."
Oh yeah. Well, I just have a theory that because parents drive their kids everywhere and shuttle them to anything and my parents were like, "Oh, you want to be in sports? Then learn to drive, so you can drive yourself."
You know what? Though you said that, and like let me just say this. Now I don't deal with this currently in my position, but previously I've had my kids on a lot of my students on the special ed bus, and I can tell you that at my previous job, those kids loved riding that bus.
Oh yeah.
They loved Miss Katrina, and they yeah. So that's awesome though.
It's a little different relationship for sure. Okay, so what are some reasons, Betsy, that we might need specialized transportation?
Well, some of them like might be maybe a little more obvious, like when you see the child, like a physical, maybe the child's in a wheelchair. Well, obviously they're not going to be able to climb steps on the bus. But also maybe they just struggle to climb the steps and need some assistance because like special ed transportation typically has that special ed driver and an assistant, which the gen ed bus would not have. So some of those physical things, and like they kind of run a gamut of what those look like. Behavior.
Yep.
Yes, they do, Patty. She's commenting on Katrina and Nicole.
Yes.
But behavior, and this one can be like again, oh wait, let's back up and say these are all case conference committee decisions.
Yeah.
So, and that's one. Behavior can sometimes, it's not an automatic reason as to why, you might a student might need to ride, but at the same time, it can just like, I'm going to give an example. A student with autism sometimes struggles with a lot of the social interactions that happen on a gen ed bus. And, they can be possibly taken advantage of or things like that.
Right.
And so that's a different.
Or they can't stand being in a seat with other kids that close.
Yeah.
Those sensory things bother them, the personal space.
So, when I was going with that behavior piece, that might be more to like, it's not necessarily they're acting out of their own accord. It might be, there's different types of behavior, I guess what I was getting at.
They get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, and something to point out about behavior really quick before we move on is that a lot of times people think, oh, my child got in trouble on the bus. Well, let's put him on the special ed bus. And that's not what we want to do right away. You always want to at least have, try some different interventions on that general ed, because remember, we're supposed to keep them with their peers, general ed peers, to the most extent possible. And that includes the bus. The bus counts.
Yep.
So we have to start there, and we have to try to do some interventions before we go to that more restrictive placement.
Right. And we can, like, as a special ed teacher, I've written social stories for riding on the bus, and I've behavior plans. And I've with the bus driver talking and stuff like, okay, I'm going to give them this book. This is their bus book. It kind of helps, different things.
Or even something as simple as putting them in a front seat, or where the bus driver can see them, or putting them with a buddy that's well behaved on the bus so they can talk to and learn from.
And that's really important, to have good communication with all your bus drivers.
Sure.
But so that is like she said, behavior. And then another one is communication. If we have a student who is deaf and communicates through sign, and that's not going to be, safety wise, they're going to need that extra support. Or maybe they're nonverbal and use a communication device. Maybe, it could be a matter of their, again, like, maybe if they're a student with autism, their communication skills are really lacking, or, again,
the bus driver's dream, selectively mute.
Yes, or like their communication, just, that language piece is very, a severe language impairment can really impact their safety on the bus.
It really can, especially if they can't understand how to follow instructions. Without assistance. So
again, when we talk about communication, it doesn't just mean, well, this child, can't talk. Well, they don't, there's different things that go into that communication piece.
It could be their receptive language also. Yeah.
A visual impairment. Again, it's really like that they may need that extra support. Well,
and again, going back, it's a case conference decision. Let's say that kid with a visual impairment has a sibling that's sighted that's going to ride the general ed bus with them, and it'll be fine. Then that wouldn't be something you would have to go there. But if they didn't, you might. So.
Health needs. sorry, I was looking down and then I don't know, you're over here waving.
I had a notification. I made it go away.
My mind is blank right now on health needs.
So if you have a kid who maybe they have an oxygen tank,
Okay.
or you have a kid who has a severe seizures or things like that,
Okay.
and we need that other person to just be there for safety reasons. Maybe they can't be, maybe they're self-abusive, or things like that, and that could be behavior or health, but it's a safety issue because they have some sort of maybe they're severely asthmatic, maybe they have an allergy, and we just don't want them on the bus with other people. We want to keep that environment as controlled as possible, but any of those could be a health reason.
I'd say that would depend a little more on
Cystic fibrosis, maybe to expose them to fewer kids,
yeah. So
things like that.
and then another reason is possibly like maybe their day is shortened. So gen ed, the regular buses only run typical schedules, or maybe they go to a specialized program in another building, or they go to a different, just like a different private type placement elsewhere.
Right. I thought of another one earlier too, and I can't remember what. What was it? Of another specialized. Sometimes. Oh, now I lost it. I'm sorry. I thought of it earlier while I was driving even, and I was like, oh, I need to write that down, and then I didn't, and now I lost it again.
It's kind of hard to write
things
things down when you're driving.
I know, yeah. It wouldn't have been safe. But yeah, just anything where you have to travel. And also, like, that can come into play too for field trips. So if they have a physical disability and they just cannot ride a regular bus with the other kids, sometimes you have to invoke special transportation for field trips.
Yep.
And things like that. Sporting events. Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a thing. The biggest thing I think that's different about specialized transportation most of the time, I'm not going to say 100% of the time, but most of the time is they usually have that second person available to provide supports and to help kids into harnesses and seats. And I've been told also, I'm old, so I still say harness. Apparently it's called a safety vest now.
Oh, I don't know.
But the vests that you can put on the kids that clip and then they hook to the seat so they can't escape if they're like a runner. Those kinds of things.
And I would always, I didn't know about those. I would think I call them our 5-point harnesses, but they're more like the.
Yeah, we used to call them a 5-point harness, and now they call them safety vests.
I know, but they're not. What you just described is not what my kids would have.
Yeah, the one where they have to step in with their legs.
No, I have no. 5-point harness is like a car seat.
Oh, that's a star seat. Yeah, no, those are different.
Okay.
Yeah, star seats and the
no, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, I still call that a 5-point harness.
Gotcha.
A star seat. I've never heard it called a star seat, but stars have 5 points, so there you go.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, there's the harness itself has leg holes,
right?
And it zips up their back so they can't get it off.
No, I know what you're talking about, but that's where I was like, when you said harness, my mind went to.
Yeah, because if you have a kiddo that's constantly trying to get out of their seat, we sometimes have to use those, and then we use seat belts too when they're available.
Yep.
For a lot of kids. Okay, so but it has to be a case conference decision. We've already mentioned that several times, and the other piece
might as well say that in every.
Everything.
If we can make it flash really big along the bottom.
All decisions must be case conference. Like a little scroll along the bottom all the time, and with our disclaimer as well.
Yeah.
These are our opinions. But I was also thinking that a lot of times people put kids on a special ed bus and then they forget, and they never go back and look at whether that's still appropriate. And sometimes we have to remember to always revisit, is transportation still a need? Because as kids get older, that may not be anymore.
And a good person to weigh in on that is that special ed bus driver. And that that aid, and to see, okay, like, because how things are going on the bus, then I mean they're definitely the ones to help weigh in on that
For
topic,
sure.
that conversation.
For sure. But always making sure too that we share behavior plans and any bus plans with those bus drivers,
Well,
and information about the
yeah,
student.
yeah. Well, and
Um,
just I think a lot of our bus drivers too, just you know, they aren't taught, or they're not
mhm,
told about autism. They're not told about
mhm,
a language impairment, because
mhm,
that's and that's they have been appreciative in the past. I've
mhm,
you know um sorry, just had a really strange noise in my house. I don't know where it came
mm.
from. um Whoa, I can't focus right now. But they have always been very appreciative of the information.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they sometimes get. I mean, they've gotten vocal if something is a concern to them and they don't feel like it's being addressed
Mm-hmm.
too. And I think that's important that we listen to bus drivers when they tell us something's not
Mm-hmm.
working,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I mean, that's a safety issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so some models of providing special transportation. So I've learned all about different models. I didn't even know there was different models until I just started my new job, and they do special transportation completely different than our previous district. So in many districts, when you are assigned and when you have transportation on your IEP, that means you're assigned to a special education bus. It's a separate bus.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're shorter buses than the other ones. Sometimes they're full size buses. It just depends on how many kids.
Mm-hmm.
And those particular buses have a bus driver and an aide. You know, that is usually the way special education transportation is provided in a lot of districts. Well, what I have found is in larger districts, um, they're coming up with some creative ways to add an aide to a general ed bus so that special education students that have needs on don't have to change buses.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having separate special buses for every kid that has transportation needs, like I'm trying to think, I think in our district we have like 200 kids that need special transportation, but we don't have 200 buses worth. I mean, like 200 kids buses worth. So we only have the only separate buses we have are the ones that need wheelchair lifts. And then everyone else rides a regular bus, but there's an aide on that bus to provide assistance and implement any behavioral things that need to happen or help with that. So your kid with a physical disability that's not a wheelchair could actually ride their regular bus because there's an aide to help them up and down the steps and
Mm-hmm.
get them in their seats and all of that kind of thing. So it's just a different model of providing special transportation, which still works. I mean, it's working just fine for a majority of the students. It's the ones with the really serious physical needs that need the wheelchair lift that we definitely have to provide that different transportation for in a separate bus.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else you can think of about transportation we didn't talk about?
Like I said, I think the big thing is that I learned is that just the bus drivers, typically the information they get about special education and the different the different needs of your kids, that is from you. And so you and like when I say that, I would take the information out to the bus drivers. Like I would print it and have it and say, hey, look, and then maybe follow up. How's that going? And now it helped that I had bus duty for about 7 years of that, but and another thing is, this is just know that it is a matter of like safety, like Jenny said. So when they're bringing up concerns, it's not because it's annoying and
Right.
no, they're talking about safety. And like, I'll be honest, that's not a job I think I could ever do or want.
No. Yeah.
And so just remember that. Patty, that would be, Patty has said there should be an 8 on all buses, no matter what.
Oh.
And John, and I agree, Patty. I just think safety wise that it would be, that would be great.
It'd
And
be
John
awesome
says,
if we had the budget.
yeah, well, John says that would be wonderful, Patty, but it will never happen. That, I mean, it's sad, but probably true.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, why am I losing all my thoughts tonight? You're distracted. I'm losing all my thoughts. It's like crazy. And it came up when you first started talking about the bus drivers and how you give them the information.
Yes, and then follow up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I lost it.
All right.
I lost it. It's not on my game today.
It's been a rough week, even though we've, I mean, in a sense, I had kind of a shorter week. I still went into work and had my, my time that I'm available and whatever. But so mainly, basically what it means is my kids had 2 Mondays this week.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about it like that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, trust me, I did.
Whew.
Some of my friends that need consistency and, Monday's always the worst. They always struggle, coming back. Well, Patty says she can dream, right? Yes,
Yeah.
Patty, dream all you want.
You can definitely dream. All right. Well, we haven't decided which topic of the three. We're doing 3 other topics. We just haven't decided the order yet because we got to talk to some people about maybe having a guest or 2. We're wanting to talk about nurses, I think we said was one, and then occupational therapy and physical therapy. So like nursing services, as well as occupational and physical therapy. So I think those will be actually Thanksgiving is one of them. So we may only have 3 this month. Do we only have 3? I haven't seen my calendar.
I was looking for my phone.
Yeah, that's not going to work too well, is it? Here, let me go to my calendar so I can see, because we may only have 3 this month.
Well, unless we did one early.
Well, that's true. We could go live earlier in the week of Thanksgiving. Yeah, we probably will do that because, there's only 2 more Thursdays before Thanksgiving, and we're definitely not going live on Thanksgiving. I'm going to be eating and napping probably.
Yep. So.
All right, well, that is it for the tall and the short of it today.
Hey, we're good. My timer's about ready to go off too.
Woohoo! We did good.
Yeah.
All right, well, we will see you all next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.